pack your things and get out." My father's voice was ice, the kind of cold that burns worse than fire. I stood in the doorway of his study, my graduation cap still in my hand, the tassel swinging like a pendulum, counting down the seconds until my life shattered. "Dad, I didn't." I said, "Get out." He didn't even look at me, just stared at the baggie of white powder on his desk, the one that had been in my locker an hour ago, the one I'd never seen before in my life. It was supposed to be the best day of my life. June 15th, 2024, graduation day, valedictorian, full ride to Princeton, 18 years old and finally free. Instead, I was being thrown out of my own house. Let me back up. My name is Emma Clark, and until 3 hours ago, I thought I knew exactly who I was. Honor student, debate team captain, the girl who stayed up until 2 a.m. perfecting college essays while my stepsister Brittany stumbled home drunk from parties. The good daughter. My mother died when I was 7. Cancer. I still remember her holding my hand in the hospital, telling me to be brave, to be strong, to make her proud. For 11 years, I tried. I tried so hard. Then my father married Lisa when I was 14. She came with Brittany, who was 13 at the time. My father, Richard Clark, was a successful corporate attorney. Lisa was beautiful, polished, and said all the right things about wanting to be a family. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. But from the very first week, things started going wrong. Small things at first, my homework disappearing, my laptop mysteriously breaking the night before a big project was due, my debate tournament permission slip never making it to my father's desk. I'd mention it to Dad, and Lisa would get this hurt look on her face and say she was trying her best, that blending families was hard, that maybe I was being too sensitive. My father always took her side. By my junior year, it escalated. My college essay drafts, the ones I'd spent months perfecting, vanished from my computer. My SAT prep books went missing. The recommendation letter from my English teacher that was supposed to go in my counselor's file? Somehow it got thrown away. Mrs. Peterson, my guidance counselor, had to ask for another one. "Emma," she'd said, pulling me aside one day, her gray eyes concerned. "Is everything okay at home?" I wanted to tell her, but what would I say? That my stepmother was sabotaging me? I had no proof, just a string of convenient accidents and my own paranoia. "Everything's fine," I lied. Brittany got into Boston University, early decision. It wasn't Princeton, but it was a good school. My father threw her a huge party, champagne for the adults, catered food, the works. Lisa beamed like Brittany had cured cancer. Then my acceptance letter came. Princeton, full scholarship. I'll never forget the look on Lisa's face when I showed Dad at dinner. Her smile froze, just for a second. Then she was congratulating me, hugging me, saying how proud she was. But her eyes were flat, dead. That's when I knew. I knew she hated me. I just didn't know why. The morning of graduation, I woke up at 6 a.m., too excited to sleep. I put on my white dress, the one I'd bought with money from my part-time job at the library. I did my makeup. I practiced my valedictorian speech one more time in the mirror. "Today is not an ending," I whispered to my reflection, "but a beginning. We stand here not because the path was easy, but because we chose to walk it anyway." I had no idea how prophetic those words would be. The ceremony was at 10 a.m. I left the house at 8:30, drove to school in my beat-up Honda Civic, the one my mom's life insurance policy had helped pay for. The parking lot was already filling up with families, balloons, flowers. I saw Mrs. Peterson by the entrance and waved. She walked over quickly, her face pale. "Emma, I need to talk to you." "What's wrong?" "The principal wants to see you. Now." My stomach dropped. "Why?" She didn't answer, just guided me inside to the administrative office. Principal Davis was there. So was Officer Martinez from the school resource unit. "Miss Clark," Davis said, his voice grave. "We received an anonymous tip this morning that there were drugs in your locker. We've conducted a search and found this." He held up a clear plastic baggie. White powder. A lot of it. The room tilted. "That's not mine. The locker is registered to you." "I know, but I didn't put that there. I've never done drugs in my life. Test me. Test me right now." Officer Martinez stepped forward. "We can arrange that, but Miss Clark, I have to tell you, this is serious. This amount could be considered possession with intent to distribute. Intent to distribute. My brain couldn't process it. This was insane. This was a nightmare. There has to be security footage, I said desperately. The cameras. Check the cameras. Someone planted this. Someone had to have opened my locker. Mrs. Peterson spoke up. She's right. We need to check the footage before we do anything else. Davis nodded slowly. We'll look into it. But Emma, I'm sorry. Until this is resolved, you cannot participate in the graduation ceremony. You're suspended pending investigation. The words hit me like a physical blow. No, please. I'm the valedictorian. I have to give my speech. I've worked for this for 4 years. I understand, but we have a zero-tolerance policy. If those drugs are yours, they're not, then we cannot allow you on stage. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. Instead, I stood there in my white dress and my stupid pearl earrings, feeling like the world was ending. Mrs. Peterson drove me home. I couldn't speak, couldn't think. I just stared out the window at the perfect blue sky, the kind of day that should have been the happiest of my life. Emma, Mrs. Peterson said softly, I believe you. I've known you for 4 years. You're not this person. We'll figure this out. I nodded, but I couldn't find my voice. She pulled up to my house. My father's Mercedes was in the driveway. He'd taken the morning off work to attend graduation. I walked up the front steps on legs that felt like they belonged to someone else. The door was unlocked. I went inside. My father was in his study, his reading glasses perched on his nose, going over some legal brief. He looked up when I walked in. Emma? Why aren't you at... He stopped, took in my face. What happened? I told him everything. About the locker, the drugs, the suspension. I watched his expression change from concern to confusion to something I couldn't quite read. Let me call the school, he said, reaching for his phone. That's when Lisa appeared in the doorway. Richard, what's going on? I started to explain again, but she interrupted. Drugs? In your locker? Her voice was shocked, horrified, but her eyes were gleaming. I didn't put them there, I said. Of course you didn't, my father said firmly. He was already dialing. But Lisa wasn't done. Richard, I think I need to tell you something. We both looked at her. She bit her lip, tears forming in her eyes. Academy Award performance. I didn't want to say anything. I thought it was just teenage experimentation. But about 2 months ago, I saw Emma with some pills. I asked her about them, and she said they were for anxiety. From a friend, I told her that wasn't okay, that she needed to see a real doctor, but she got so angry. That's a lie. I exploded. Emma, my father said sharply, let her finish. And last week, Lisa continued, her voice breaking, I found powder residue on her bathroom counter. I cleaned it up. I didn't want to worry you, Richard, I thought. I thought I could handle it. I thought I could help her. But clearly, it's worse than I thought. She's lying. I was shaking now. Dad, she's making this up. I've never done drugs. Ever. Test me. Please, just test me. My father looked between us. His daughter of 18 years. His wife of 4. I saw the moment he made his choice. Saw it in his eyes. Emma, do you have any idea how serious this is? Possession with intent to distribute? That's a felony. You could go to prison. Your scholarship, your future, everything. I know. That's why I'm telling you. I didn't do it. Then how did they get in your locker? I don't know. Someone must have... Someone. His voice was flat now, cold. It's always someone else, isn't it? Nothing is ever your fault. I stared at him, not understanding. What? I've watched you for 4 years, Emma. Watched you resent Lisa and Brittany. Watched you act like you're better than them. Brittany works hard too, you know. She didn't get a full ride to an Ivy League school, but she tries. And all you do is look down on her. That's not true. And now this. Drugs. Do you have any idea what this could do to my reputation? To my firm? That's when I understood. This wasn't about truth. This wasn't about evidence. This was about embarrassment. About his perfect daughter becoming an inconvenient liability. Dad, I whispered. Please. You know me. You know I wouldn't do this. He picked up his phone, dialed. Hello, Principal Davis. "This is Richard Clark, Emma's father. Yes, I've been informed of the situation. No, she's home now. I understand. Yes, I think that's best. Thank you." He hung up, looked at me. "The school is going to conduct a full investigation. In the meantime, you're not to return to campus." "Okay," I said. "Okay. Then we'll prove I didn't do it. We'll check the cameras. That's not the point." He stood up, walked to his desk drawer, pulled out a small baggie. The baggie from my locker. "They sent this home with Officer Martinez. He wanted me to see what they found. Wanted my permission to search your room." "Go ahead," I said immediately. "Search it. You won't find anything." I already did. The floor dropped out from under me. "What?" He opened his desk drawer wider. Inside were 3 more baggies, more pills, a small scale. "I found these in your closet, behind your winter clothes." "No." I was backing away. "No, I've never seen those before. Someone planted them. Dad, please, someone planted them." "Enough!" His voice cracked like a whip. "Enough lies, Emma. I am done with your lies." Lisa put a hand on his arm. "Richard, please. Let's all calm down. Let's talk about this rationally. Emma clearly needs help. Maybe a treatment center." "No," he said. "No, I've tried. I've tried to help her, to support her, to give her everything, and this is how she repays me? Drugs? In my house?" He turned back to me, and I didn't recognize the man standing there. This wasn't my father, the man who taught me to ride a bike, who read me bedtime stories, who held me when Mom died and promised everything would be okay. "Pack your things," he said quietly, "and get out." I couldn't breathe. "What?" "I want you out of my house. Now. Dad, please. I will not have a drug dealer living under my roof. You're 18 now. An adult. You made your choices. Now you live with them." "I didn't make any choices. Someone is setting me up. Why won't you believe me?" "Because I'm not blind, Emma. Because Lisa saw the signs and I ignored them. Because I wanted to believe my daughter was perfect, but she's not. She's just like—" He stopped himself. But I heard what he didn't say. "She's just like her mother." My mom had taken pain medication after surgery. Just prescription stuff, nothing illegal. But towards the end, when the cancer was bad, she'd needed more. Much more. It wasn't addiction. It was survival. But my father had never quite forgiven her for it. I'd heard him talking to his brother once, late at night after the funeral, if she'd just been stronger, if she'd just tried harder. And now he thought I was weak too. "Get out," he repeated. "I'm calling Principal Davis back. I'm telling him to turn this over to the police. If you're here when they arrive, they'll arrest you. But if you leave now, maybe you have a chance to disappear. Start over somewhere. I don't know. I don't care. Just go." Lisa was crying now. Real tears this time. Because she'd won. She'd actually won. I looked at my father one last time, tried to find something in his face, some hint of the man who'd raised me, but there was nothing, just cold disgust. I went upstairs, packed a bag, clothes, laptop, phone charger, my mom's jewelry box, the only thing I had left of her. I moved like a robot, like none of this was real. Brittany was in the hallway when I came out. She looked scared. "Emma, did you know?" I asked. She bit her lip, didn't answer. That was answer enough. I walked past her, down the stairs, out the front door, into the bright June sunshine in my white graduation dress with a duffel bag in one hand and my entire life falling apart around me. Mrs. Peterson was still in her car at the curb. She must have seen my face because she got out immediately. "Emma? What happened?" "He kicked me out," I heard myself say. "My dad kicked me out." Her eyes widened. "What? Why?" I told her. "About the drugs in my closet. About my father's ultimatum. About the police." Mrs. Peterson went very still. "Get in the car," she said. "Right now." I obeyed. She peeled away from the curb, heading back toward the school. "Mrs. Peterson, where are we?" "I checked the security footage while you were gone," she said, her knuckles white on the steering wheel. "I had a hunch. And Emma, I found something." My heart was hammering. "What?" "Your stepmother. I have her on camera entering the school at 6:45 this morning. She went straight to your locker." The world stopped spinning. "What?" "She had a key. Opened your locker. put something inside. The whole thing took less than 30 seconds. Then she left. But how did she... The anonymous tip came from a burner phone, untraceable. But Emma, that's not all. She glanced at me, her face grim. I kept digging, went back through the footage from the past few months. Your stepmother has been in this school dozens of times, always when no students are around, always near your locker or the administrative offices. She destroyed my college stuff, I whispered. The essays, the recommendation letters. It was her. Yes, and I found something else. She pulled into the school parking lot, which was empty now. The graduation ceremony was over. I'd missed it. I checked your Princeton scholarship file. 2 weeks ago, someone tried to withdraw your acceptance. Forged your signature on the form. The only reason it didn't go through is because Princeton's admissions office called the school directly to confirm, and I told them you never submitted any withdrawal. I couldn't speak, couldn't process this. She's been systematically trying to destroy your future, Mrs. Peterson said. I don't know why. But Emma, we have proof. We have evidence. We're going to fix this. We went inside. Principal Davis was in his office. Mrs. Peterson showed him everything. The footage, the forged withdrawal form, the pattern of sabotage. Davis's face grew darker with each revelation. This is unbelievable. We need to call the police. The real police, not just Officer Martinez. And Emma's father, Mrs. Peterson, added, he needs to see this. But when they called my house, no one answered. They tried my father's cell, voicemail. Officer Martinez came back, watched the footage. His expression was grim. This is evidence tampering, false reporting, possibly identity theft with that scholarship withdrawal. Mrs. Clark is looking at serious charges. What about the drugs in my closet? I asked, my voice hoarse. The ones my dad found? Martinez exchanged a glance with Davis. Emma, I need to ask you something. Does your stepmother have access to your room? Yes. She cleans the house. And your father searched your room this morning, after the school incident? He said he did. Before I got home, Martinez nodded slowly. I'd bet money she planted those too, right after you left for school this morning. Probably called your father at work, suggested he check your room, made sure he'd find them. The pieces clicked into place. Lisa had orchestrated all of it. The drugs at school, the anonymous tip, the drugs at home, the tearful confession about seeing me with pills. She'd created a complete narrative, and my father had bought every word. We need to go to your house, Martinez said. Now, before your father does something he'll regret. And we need to arrest Mrs. Clark. We pulled up to my house 20 minutes later. 2 more police cars were right behind us. My father's Mercedes was still in the driveway. Martinez knocked. No answer. He knocked again, louder. Mr. Clark? This is Officer Martinez from the school district. We need to speak with you. The door opened. My father stood there, his face haggard. Officer, I told you, I'm handling this privately. Emma is gone. There's no need. Mr. Clark, I need you to listen very carefully. Emma did not plant those drugs. We have security footage showing your wife entering the school this morning and planting evidence in Emma's locker. My father blinked. What? We also have evidence of multiple incidents of sabotage over the past several months. Your wife has been systematically attempting to destroy your daughter's academic future. We need to speak with Mrs. Clark. Is she home? Something shifted in my father's face. Confusion, disbelief, then slowly, horribly, understanding. Lisa? He called back into the house. Lisa, can you come here? She appeared, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. When she saw the police, she froze. Just for a second. Then she composed herself. Officers? Is something wrong? Mrs. Clark, I'm going to need you to come with me. We have some questions about events at Jefferson High School this morning. I don't understand. What events? Martinez showed her his phone, the security footage. Lisa entering the school, opening my locker, planting the drugs. The color drained from her face. That's not. Emma asked me to get something from her locker. She forgot her cap and gown. At 6:45 a.m.? When the school wasn't open yet? When you used a key that you shouldn't have had access to? I'm on the PTA. They gave me a key for emergencies. The PTA doesn't have access to student locker master keys. Mrs. Clark. Martinez's voice was hard now. And I haven't even mentioned the forged scholarship withdrawal forms, or the pattern of destroyed college materials over the past 6 months. Lisa's eyes darted to my father. He was staring at her like he'd never seen her before. "Richard," she said, her voice breaking. "Richard, please. This is a misunderstanding. I would never." "Why?" The word came out of him like a gunshot. "Why would you do this?" And then I saw it. The mask slipping, the carefully constructed facade cracking apart. Lisa's face twisted into something ugly, something real, because she doesn't deserve it. Lisa spat. Perfect Emma. Brilliant Emma. Emma who got into Princeton while my daughter got waitlisted at every Ivy she applied to. Do you know what that's like? To watch your child be rejected over and over while your stepdaughter sails through life like it's easy? So you tried to destroy her? My father's voice was strangled. I tried to level the playing field. Brittany works just as hard. She deserves the same opportunities. But no, everything always goes to Emma. Your precious Emma. Your perfect dead wife's daughter. My father's hand shot out. For a second, I thought he was going to hit her. But he just pointed at the door. Get out. Richard, get out of my house. Officer Martinez stepped forward. Mrs. Clark, you're under arrest for evidence tampering, filing a false police report, identity theft, and fraud. You have the right to remain silent. I watched them handcuff her, watched them lead her to the patrol car. She was crying now, real tears this time, but they weren't for me. They were for herself, for getting caught. Brittany appeared in the doorway behind my father. She looked stricken. Mom? Mom! Stay inside, miss, one of the officers said gently. My father stood on the porch, watching his wife being driven away. Then slowly, he turned to me. I was still in Mrs. Peterson's car, too afraid to get out. He walked over, opened my door. His eyes were red. Emma, he whispered. Emma, I'm so sorry. I couldn't look at him. You didn't believe me. I know. You threw me out. I know. You chose her over me. You chose her lies over your own daughter. His face crumpled. I know. God, Emma, I know. And I will regret that for the rest of my life. But please, please come inside. Let me fix this. I looked at Mrs. Peterson. She nodded encouragingly. But I couldn't. I couldn't walk back into that house. Couldn't pretend that the last 4 hours hadn't happened. Couldn't pretend that my own father hadn't looked me in the eye and told me to get out. I need time, I said finally. I can't be here right now. Where will you go? Mrs. Peterson spoke up. She can stay with me, for as long as she needs. My father looked like he wanted to argue, but he just nodded. Okay. But Emma, please, when you're ready, I want to make this right. I want to fix what I broke. I didn't answer. Mrs. Peterson drove me to her small house on Maple Street. She set me up in her guest room, made me tea, sat with me while I cried. Over the next few weeks, the truth came out. All of it. Lisa's charges, the investigation. Principal Davis issued a formal apology and reinstated me. My classmates held a special ceremony where I finally gave my valedictorian speech. Princeton confirmed my scholarship was secure. My father came to the ceremony, sat in the back, didn't try to talk to me, just watched with tears running down his face. Lisa pled guilty. Got 3 years probation, community service, and a restraining order keeping her away from me. My father filed for divorce immediately. Brittany wrote me a letter. A real one, handwritten, full of apologies and shame. She'd known something was wrong but hadn't known the extent. Hadn't known her mother was capable of something so calculated and cruel. She was seeing a therapist now, trying to process having a mother who would destroy someone's life over jealousy. I wrote back. Eventually, because Brittany was a victim too. But my father, that was harder. He tried everything. Letters, phone calls, showing up at Mrs. Peterson's house with flowers and apologies, begging me to let him explain, to let him make amends. Mrs. Peterson never pressured me, just let me stay in her guest room, helped me pack for Princeton, drove me to campus in August, hugged me goodbye and told me to call any time. You saved my life, I told her. If you hadn't believed me, if you hadn't checked those cameras, You saved your own life, Emma, she said firmly, by being exactly who you are. Honest, good, strong. Don't let what happened make you doubt yourself. My father came to campus in September. I agreed to meet him. We sat in a coffee shop near the library, and he looked older, grayer, worn down by guilt. I don't expect you to forgive me, he said. I don't deserve it, but I need you to know I was wrong about everything, about Lisa, about not believing you, about choosing my pride and my reputation over my own daughter. Why did you? I asked. The question I'd been holding since June. Why was it so easy for you to believe I was on drugs, to throw me out? He was quiet for a long time. Because I was scared, he finally said. Your mother. At the end, the pain medication. I felt helpless. I couldn't fix it, couldn't make it better. And when Lisa said she'd seen you with pills, it brought all of that back. That feeling of helplessness, of failure. And I think part of me wanted to believe you were making bad choices, because that would mean it was your fault, not mine. Not something I'd failed to prevent. So you threw me out to make yourself feel better. Yes, he looked me in the eye. Yes, Emma, that's exactly what I did, and I will carry that shame for the rest of my life. I sipped my coffee, watched students walk by outside, kids my age with their whole futures ahead of them. I got a 4 my first semester, I said. Made Dean's List. His eyes brightened with hope. That's wonderful. I always knew. Mrs. Peterson came to Parents' Weekend. She helped me move into my dorm. She's coming for Thanksgiving, too. The hope died. He understood. Mrs. Peterson was my family now, had been since the moment she believed me when no one else did. I'm glad you have her, he said quietly. You deserve someone who believes in you, someone who puts you first. We talked for another hour. About school, about my classes, about his divorce proceedings. It wasn't warm. It wasn't like before, but it was something. As I walked back to my dorm, my phone buzzed. Text from Mrs. Peterson. How did it go? Okay, I typed back. It was okay. Proud of you. Call me later if you want to talk. Love you. Love you too. And I realized something. I'd lost a father who didn't deserve me, but I'd found a family who did. Mrs. Peterson, my real friends, the people who'd stood by me when everything fell apart. My father would have to earn his way back into my life. If he ever did, that was up to him. But me? I was done trying to be perfect for people who didn't appreciate it, done sacrificing myself for approval that would never come. I'd survived being thrown out, being betrayed, being broken, and on the other side of that pain, I'd found something stronger. I'd found myself. 3 years later, I graduated summa cum laude. Missus Peterson sat in the front row, crying proud tears. My father sat in the back. We made eye contact once. I nodded. He nodded back. Maybe someday, we'd find our way back to each other. Maybe not. Either way, I was going to be fine. Because I'd learned the hardest lesson life can teach. The people who are supposed to love you might let you down, might choose comfort over truth, might break your heart in ways you never knew possible. But you still have to get up, still have to walk forward, still have to choose yourself. Even when it's the hardest thing you've ever done, especially then.